This is where we are.
Even
Instagram.
Are we
Even
sure
Instagram
that was
Right.
Antonio Pierce? Are we sure that was him? That could have been a burner account or
Hey,
somebody imposing. I don't know.
Wait.
says
The crazy part
in
is even
4K Antonio
Instagram knew
Pierce.
to put like by Antonio Pierce. You know, that's pretty amazing.
I'm
Listen,
saying,
you have to be careful what you like around here.
Yeah,
You know,
that's real.
I am a natural born detective in that I am a woman, so
Right, but
I will spot these things from a mile away.
he said he hadn't talked to AP at all, but he asked the team for a trade but never talked to him.
This
they haven't
this
talked
seems to
at
be
all.
what's happening.
So he must have just went to Telesco and said,
this
"Get
is
me up
why-
out of here."
This is why.
So what's
talking about
happening,
this is-
Michael?
This is what Key is just talking about. It's the most surprising part of it all. These are two football players basically at the root of it. And what Key just said, so he haven't talked to him. Like, I'm shocked they haven't had a conversation. I'm shocked they haven't had a conversation. And that's what I'm hearing, and that's what they've said, that they haven't talked to each other in a while. And just a minute ago, they were all fighting for Coach Pierce to get that job. They wanted to be there. He wanted to be there. So this is a fast turn. And it's a fast turn. I understand from a business standpoint what the Raiders are saying and what the Raiders are trying to do, because they're like, hey, we don't believe we're going anywhere with this, and you're our best asset to get asset back. So I understand it from a business standpoint. But the conversation not being had between those two, particularly those two, is hard for me to fathom and hard for me to understand. And that's the part that kind of makes me shake my head to it all, Keith.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure it out myself. You know, the fact that somebody in the building, I don't know who the somebody is, but somebody in the Raider building at the higher level, he's communicated he wanted to trade with, or else he wouldn't be out there.
Right.
Once a star player...
Well, they have people that are speaking for. I'm sure his agent is talking to.
Yeah, somebody,
people
but
with the Raiders
that communication
and
has either gone to Mr. Davis, General Manager Telesco, somebody in the building, if it hadn't been AP. But what I was saying here is once a star player asks for a trade, a star player, not a guy who's just, I'm in a contract negotiation, I want to trade. He's under contract. He signed for $140 million in 2022, 5-year deal. Once that happens, you got to move him. So if he's publicly saying, I want to out, they got to move him. Now, where are they going to move him to? What are we going to do next, right?
Well,
That's the next move. The next move is to find out which quarterback you're going to line yourself with, because you don't want to go to the same problems that you have in Oakland or Las Vegas right now with Minshew and company. You don't want that.
Yeah, well, we'll get to where the best landing spot is. But, Paul, what's your reaction to this news?
I'm just trying to figure out where did it all go wrong. I mean, obviously, I think, in my opinion, that when Coach Pierce came out and was like, you know, we're going to have to make some business decisions around here, that was directed toward Davante Adams. And if you notice the next game, he doesn't play. So usually in sports, when a coach or a GM say we're going to have to make some business decisions around here, it's going to be regarding a player and a player of stature. And that's what I think happened here. And I think that's what fractured the relationship. Now, this is what I do believe. I believe that Davante wanted out probably last year, but stuck around, endorsed Coach Pierce to get in that position. And then once they came back this year and saw things wasn't going to be too rosy or to his liking, he's like, you know, I think my time is up here in Las Vegas. It's time for us to move on.
Well, it's a very interesting timeline, Davante, going to Vegas.
Didn't he talk about he didn't want to be traded just a few minutes?
He said that he was happy there, and that he was.
There.
We all say the
no
right
issues.
things. I was saying the right things in Boston. Behind closed doors, I was upstairs like, man, y'all need to get me out of here. We losing. I want out of here unless y'all do something. Unless y'all bring in some more people. So that type of talk does happen. Y'all know that. Y'all been in the game.
Well, the Vegas thing was always interesting, and you've talked about why he wanted to go to Las Vegas before.
Yeah.
It was, you know, family reasons.
Car was there, all the Raider fan growing up.
Right, because it was a bit confusing when he left Green Bay and Aaron Rodgers to go to Vegas to what obviously everyone would consider to be a lesser talent, at least from Aaron Rodgers' stature, and not a winning organization.
Yeah.
Green Bay Packers has a very storied history. They are competitive every year. You're going to the Raiders, who have been the Raiders for as long as we can remember. this has all kind of ticked up extremely recently because he did come out and say that he was happy there.
Yeah.
It seemed like they were tracking in the right direction.
Absolutely.
Obviously, they're still sort of in a rebuild, and he's not going to be working with the highest level talent this year at the quarterback position. But this Instagram situation happens, and then within, a day or two, we're now having the conversation about him wanting a trade. Antonio Pierce liked the Instagram post suggesting Davante had played his last snap in Vegas. Obviously, he didn't play in the last game because he had the hamstring injury. Davante was asked about the post and responded by saying he hasn't heard from Pierce and he didn't know what that was about. And now, reportedly, he has told the Raiders that he wants a trade. To me, this is a big communication issue. I don't know how often you guys star players would communicate with coaches, but obviously we are in the communication era. There's endless ways to get a hold of someone, whether it is Instagram, which we obviously know that you're on.
Well, it depends on your relationship with the coach.
But this is their best player.
Right. And
Antonio Pierce is a former player.
And there is the answer right there. And that's the one that shakes me. My relationship with Coach Johnson, I would have any conversation with him because of the relationship and where we come from and what we've been through. I'm sure that Antonio Pierce and Davante Adams can have any relationship, any conversation. I am thoroughly shocked that Paul even suggested that he was talking about Davante Adams when he said making a business decision.
That's what it looked like.
You know, and I've heard people say that, and I'm like, well, how is it that a receiver can make a business decision? I didn't see Davante Adams duck any footballs that were in his way that he taken away.
Maybe not going hard.
See, a business decision, if it's a guy that's making a tackle or something and he doesn't want to tackle, that's a business decision because he don't want to get in there. He's like, I'm here to make my money. But receiver, making a business, that's just a difficult thing to do. So and I don't ever see Davante. I saw like this dude here, they want to block. I'm the guy that don't want to block. These dudes, they'll actually block. He'll block somebody. So I have never thought of him as that kind of player.
Yeah.
So that's why it shocked me to hear you even suggest that was him that they were talking about, and now they have gotten here.
Right, but, if we're following the breadcrumbs of the Instagram posts,
right?
Which, if it was an accident, like if you accidentally like an Instagram post that slanders someone,
No,
and
that's not
it got brought to its attention, you would pick up the phone and be like, hey, my dumb thumb was scrolling and I double tapped on accident.
First of all, though, Joy, that ain't even AP. That's not how AP would get down.
Yeah.
We're trying to explain why he did something.
Yeah.
Like, he's the type of dude that it's like me and you having a conversation. That's just what it is. It's just it ain't gonna be no playing the games. We gonna have a real conversation. That's why it's a little head scratching that AP hasn't spoke to him yet. Now, he may have walked down the hallway after he said he hadn't spoken to him. I don't know. But as of an hour ago, he hadn't talked to him.
All the talking is done.
No, I understand
You know
that.
what I'm saying?
No, it is, but
they talked before all of this developed.
Absolutely, they did.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
that's what
But
I'm
he said
saying.
he hadn't talked to Antonio Pierce.
Before the Instagram, before all of that, they already talked about this right now that's going on right now. Him finding a new team, him wanting to be out of there, him getting traded. It's just all coming out now. Why would I like that if we ain't already talked about that?
Yeah, he had that conversation.
You know what I'm saying?
He probably had the conversation when we saw Davante. Davante sitting on the sideline. He probably already had that conversation.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Even though that conversation may have not been turning things down, may have not been running the wrong route. It may have just been a simple, you're not into what we're doing right now. Your body language is affecting everybody else on the team, yada, 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 yada. Then 2-3 weeks ago, he had to, I think it was 3 weeks ago, he had to come out and dispel what Deshaun Jackson was saying about him not wanting to be in Las Vegas. He had to clean that up real quick. So this is something that's been going on the hamster wheel for quite some time now.
Well, and, he is a top-level player who wants to be with a competitor, of course, and while the Raiders are building something, they're not quite there yet.
They should have just drafted the quarterback.
Well, yes, but we can't go back to the draft.
I know.
As we look back over Davante's journey, though, and we try to make a decision, like, we look at Tyreek Hill and said, did Tyreek Hill do something crazy, leaving Pat Mahomes in Kansas City? Davante's situation in Green Bay was different, if we recall now, because they were touring with Aaron Rodgers,
One
too.
foot in, one foot out.
1 foot in, 1 foot out. So he was probably looking for more solid ground.
was.
Because that ground was shaky that
He
he
was.
was
Of
leaving.
course, yeah, and we
he's
forget
going
that there
back to his
was
college
a lot
quarterback.
of middle there.
Right, he's going back to his college quarterback. Then they get rid of his college quarterback, and the ground starts shaking again to where he is. And that's so it's just it's a different situation, and a difficult situation for him. He's 31 now. And let me tell you what's hard too about these situations. Not that I would know, but I would imagine. You know, you would consider Davante was the best receiver in the league.
Yeah.
When you were with that other guy, when you were in Green Bay. And now we have those conversations, and you're no longer in those conversations. Yeah, we know you got that talent and that gift to be it, but you don't have that combo to show it.
Right.
And so we don't put you in those conversations. That's eating him up.
Well, yeah, it
I
has to be.
guarantee you that's
and
eating him
Key
up.
says it all the time. It takes 11 people, right? I want to make sure you get the number right. 11
it's
people
11.
for you to get the ball.
Yeah, take the receiver out, add
you
the
got the
coordinator in there.
offensive
It's 11
coordinator.
people for me to get the football.
And the quarterback
Can't
is
throw it to my
probably
damn self.
the most important. Well, Davante's obviously had an incredible career, as Michael just brought up. He's considered one of the best, and at one point was considered the best undisputed wide receiver in the league. 3-time All-Pro, 6-time Pro Bowler. It's his 11th season in the NFL. He's 31. He'll be 32 in December. And he signed a 5-year, $140 million contract with the Raiders on March 17th, 2022. But he has reportedly informed the team that he wants to trade. So there will be takers.
209 yards total is what he have right now. That's a game for him usually.
Yeah.
One game? One good game?
209.
Game and a half,
A
game and a
half.
quarter.
What's the best landing spot for Davante, Keyshawn?
The best landing spot without going through all 31 teams is the Jets. It's the best spot. You put him back with Hackett that was with him in Green Bay. You put him back with Aaron Rodgers. They have a great relationship, even though he couldn't make a decision based on what Aaron Rodgers was going to do. That's why he was like, I got to get out of here because Aaron Rodgers, he might just leave me hanging dry and do something different. Best landing spot, because when you look at the receiver position, as you know, Michael, you got Alan Lazar, whatever. I mean, no disrespect, but it's not Davante. You got Garrett Wilson, who's on his rookie deal, who's young, who can learn from him. You got Mike Williams on a 1-year deal. You bring him and add him to the mix. It doesn't directly affect the Raiders in terms of their division. You know, because there's a lot of people out there that's probably going to think first thing Rasheed Rice is hurt. Oh, man, the Raiders Kansas City can get him. I'm not trading him to the division.
I have a very hard time envisioning the Raiders.
Because he's still good.
The Chiefs.
If he was Paul Pierce from the Boston Celtics moving on or something like that, then I could trade him to a division rival. It didn't matter.
The Celtics?
No, you're talking about Clipper Paul.
No, Brooklyn Paul. But anyway, so when you start to look at that, that's the best spot. I know we're going to think about Pittsburgh, and we're going to think about Kansas City. And there's maybe Washington
I got a spot for him.
is another
I got a spot
right outside the Jets for me.
I got a
What's the
spot
spot
for him. Buffalo.
Buffalo's not a bad spot.
Yeah.
Buffalo's not a bad spot. I think about now the question was the best spot.
Think about that.
The question was the best. It wasn't what's possible. It says the best. And the best is Kansas City Chiefs. Stop playing.
That's not gonna happen. That's the best spot.
Okay, it's not going to happen.
It's
but
not going to
that's
happen,
the
but
best.
that is the best.
That is the best.
It's the best,
And-
Michael.
and-
The
and-
best
and
would have been for me
if
to
it
play with
happened
y'all.
like
Come on,
that,
man.
if it happened like
hell?
that,
If
we can
Buffalo
shut
can find a
down
way
the
to swing 'em.
NFL this year and for the next 2 years. They'll 3-peat, 4-peat, and 5-peat. So I'm sending out to the Raiders. Don't do that.
They not doing that.
Okay, don't be stupid.
No, they're not going to do that.
Listen, stranger things have happened.
Yeah, they're not going to do it because he's still good.
Stranger things have happened, but
They
I
want a
do
second
not
round.
envision-
What if Kansas City coming up with a first rounder for him?
I'm still not doing it. I'm not trading a player in what I would consider his prime, because I still consider it his prime.
But
To
your
the
asking
division rival.
price was a second round.
No, I'm not doing
And
that.
Kansas City goes up and says, we're going to give you a first and some
That's
players.
32. If based on
And
everything,
the
if 32.
Giants Saquon is in Philadelphia.
No, but that was free agent.
Yeah, but still.
And they made that mistake, and every day they look back and go, damn.
Yeah, they're regretting it.
So they regret it. So are the Cowboys, because the Cowboys would like to have Saquon Barkley right about now, too.
Well, Look,
Right now,
I don't think that I don't think they're going to do it. I don't think they're going to trade with the Chiefs. That's
No,
Well, I mean, his agent,
that's
I'm
too
a
close.
looper-duper deal. I'm a looper-duper deal. Get me traded to somebody and trade me back to Kansas City.
So Buffalo is a great suggestion.
Buffalo is interesting.
Washington
It is.
together.
Buffalo's interesting. I like that.
Put
Washington is
together a couple
interesting.
pieces to get them.
As well.
I like
Obviously,
Buffalo.
Pittsburgh was
Jets are the best, too.
having a conversation about Brandon Ayuk earlier in the year about potentially going there. But since we're all assuming
It's the
that the
same
Raiders are not
offense,
going to
Jets.
completely lose their mind and trade him to the Chiefs, the best landing spot would probably be the Jets.
Jets.
Yeah, because of familiarity with the quarterback and the offensive
And the
coordinator
system.
and Lazard. I mean, it's you're at home.
Right.
You're at home. You always.
and all the
Green
Jets-
Bay
the Jets
East.
are
It
also-
becomes Green Bay East.
Yeah, you're at home.
It becomes Green Bay
You're going up there, up in Buffalo,
York.
messing around with Josh Allen, who, and remind you, we're trading a receiver.
Right.
So you know how we are. Okay?
What are
you got
y'all- what are y'all like?
got rid of Diggs
What are you?
to bring in another receiver that's going to want his touches a certain way.
Well, they
That's
just
just the reality
they
of
just
it.
took a real
They took a bad
real
loss. But
L
they could
to
have used.
Baltimore.
They could have used that.
moon
deep.
might have
Yeah, I
swung-
know, but
have swung since the
you
Jacksonville
got rid of a
win.
dude that you thought had an attitude.
But Devontae.
Yeah, Devontae's
Devontae will not
I'm just
come in. He
telling you.
won't come in that type of attitude. It's a new situation. He optimistic.
Oh, hey.
I mean, come on. He wouldn't do that.
Okay.
I'm telling you.
The
he
Jets
wouldn't.
or
Everybody's
Buffalo
not
would be-
Keyshawn. They
No,
don't
ain't
just
got
get
that. No,
crazy.
everybody ain't gonna beat me. That's true. They're not gonna
Man
approach
trying
it the
to
same
find
way.
a good,
No.
I'm
happier
just
home.
saying, I'm trying to forewarn you a little
Nah, he
bit
gonna
that
be-
he don't want to be messing around with no Josh Allen. Things don't go right.
Well, why I think the Jets
Messing
are
around with Gardner Minshew.
That's why he won't out.
It's
So go to
still an
Aaron Rodgers.
improvement.
As Aaron Rodgers said in the
But you gonna
summertime, him and Davante, he had communication.
No, they have
Let's
a great
see.
relationship.
Yeah.
They're still very close. He's familiar with the offensive coordinator. He's familiar with the quarterback.
He walks right in.
He walks right in 100%. The Jets do make the most sense. Now, are the Jets going to do that? They should, because they are of all the teams in the league in the most win now situation.
Give up whatever you got to give up.
Yes.
Right.
Because who cares
Correct.
about your future?
Correct.
Who cares about 3
Correct.
years from now? You need to be paying attention to literally this season. Tomorrow is, forget not promised. It doesn't exist. Like they are in the most win now, other than the Kansas City Chiefs, only
And they
because they're
use
set up
like that.
for to three-peat. But
I
they're
think
not. He's
Garrett's
not
a
going to
little
end
too-
up there.
Sometimes a little too tiny and too small. They could use a big dude like this right here.
Who?
Yeah, Garrett Wilson.
Garrett Wilson.
Sometimes he's a
Mm.
small
Little slight.
guy. He's a little slight right there, man. And you teams get physical with him. You put that dude over there too. Oh, and you let him run around in that slot too. Garrett run around that slot and him outside. It is over in New York if
Well,
you do that.
this is obviously very big breaking
It is
news,
over.
and we will update you throughout the show if anything else comes up. But they did have Monday night games last night. My Dolphins took another very, very sad loss. Brutal watch. Without Tua under center, Tyreek Hill seemed pretty upset on the sideline, while Mike McDaniel just kind of stared into the abyss. That's what we're dealing with right now in Miami. It's hot, it's humid, and we're taking L's. But Paul, what are your
Who are
thoughts
you talking
on
to? You talking to the coach?
Tyreek Hill's
Who are you
sideline
talking to? Who
outburst?
is that directed to?
I mean, he's talking
talking
around
to the
the coach.
Man, he frustrated. He frustrated,
Yeah, he is.
and rightfully so. You talk about probably arguably the best receiver in the game, who can't get his touches, who can't get the ball placed right. It's frustrating, Joy. It's like when I was playing on losing teams and the point guard couldn't get the man the ball, they couldn't get me in the right spots. It was like, man, what we doing out here? Like, what are we doing out here? You know what I'm saying? So he like, man, what you gonna do, coach? But like you know, Keyshawn said it in the back. He said he did it the wrong way. So, but I'm gonna let Keyshawn tell you how he should have did it. I'm gonna let Keyshawn tell you how he should have did it.
What did he do wrong?
Yeah, what did you
He
wrong?
did it the wrong. No, he did it the wrong
Well,
way.
let me go, because I know Key going, I love what he did. I think this is exactly how you do it if you are the leader of a football
Right.
team. Now let's, because I know you'll get into him. I always talk about never touching that quarterback, never touching their head coach. But your wide receiver coach, oh, that joker got to hear it all. You know, even though you're talking to the quarterback or to the head coach,
Or Axe.
you talking to Axe. I'm like, Axe, some got to change around here. Right now, Axe, the coach is right here.
Yeah, you want
know what I
everybody in the
mean?
vicinity,
I'm
huh?
talking to everybody, but it's coming at Axe. I
Right.
follow him to get on that phone.
Right.
So I like the Tyreek Hill. He never goes to the head coach. You see what's welcome back there? You know, he's right in that shot. He's like, let me get out of the way to make sure people don't think this coming at me. You see him move right there.
He like, man, if we gonna lose, at least lose with me, giving us a chance, and they're not giving them a chance.
And he's trying to also pump his team. He wants to go and make a play.
Yeah.
I like that he's not in front of the coach. I like the coach didn't turn around and address him. He understands this frustration, and he let it play out. He didn't feel the need to jump in and try to manage that little situation.
No, that's very true. Norv Turner was upstairs, though, huh? Calling the plays.
Yeah, Norv was, yeah.
Zam was upstairs, too?
And Norv and Coach was with me, and I was saying, Coach, let's get to that phone right now. I used to walk over that phone with him and hand that phone and see you got to call.
Jimmy didn't call the play.
Jimmy didn't call the plays. Norv called upstairs.
He calls the plays.
Yeah, that's a different thing.
Yeah, Mike, he calls the plays.
Right, all the more reason you got to stay out of
if you look at the clip, what I'm saying is I can teach Tyreek how to communicate with the head coach.
How you would have done it?
You know what I'm saying? You going off and screaming and yelling, but you doing it behind him. He got the earpiece on it. You got to get on the other side of him and in front of you so he can see you. But no, what you mean?
It ain't.
Look at the side of the ear I'm on. I'm on the right side here that he got the headset letting his ass know.
Right.
If you want to get involved, you got to get involved the right way.
You headbutted him.
You can't.
You know what I'm saying?
That's what
you gotta let them know. They calling the plays, Michael, and I want to help the team win. Ain't my coordinator in upstairs. He downstairs.
Yeah, Key, man. You
headbutted Gruden right here.
Man, I ain't here, buddy. I just let him know a few things. No, I just let him.
This is assault.
You don't stop.
The man is
right here.
The man is sitting there. He said, I'm trying to get you the ball, Key. Can you please back up?
That's not what he said. But,
That's assault.
But all I'm saying is, Tyreek, you really want to communicate with the coach. You communicate with him.
That's how you do it.
But the difference is the head coach understands who you are. Right. He understands the frustration.
Right.
He knows that they just signed Tyler Huntley like, what they play on Monday? What did they sign him on, like Tuesday? Like, he knows that. He knows that, and it's okay. Yeah. That's why he never really flinched. He just kind of... But you got to get in front of him. You got to get on the open side. You got to get on the open side here.
Mike, coach was assault.
I saw assault.
I saw assault.
Y'all stop.
Y'all got to stop that.
No, Key, you are assaulting that man. I'm with them on that, man. Back up off that man.
Wow.
Get that man his space, man.
If you only knew.
There's a stand your ground law out there, you know. I just want you.
We were in Florida.
Back up.
That was crazy.
I think, the situations are not identical, obviously, but Tyreek is a great player who is in football purgatory. He's stuck in quarterback hell.
Yes.
You can say what you want about Tua, but you can see the drop-off that the Dolphins' offense has had since Tua hasn't been out there.
But his frustration can't be at Coach McDaniels because Coach is trying everything in his power. Trust me, Tyreek, to get you that football.
Of course he
That's
is.
the only chance he has at winning a game without Tua. That's the only chance he has winning the game with Tua. So you know without him, he's trying to get the ball.
Dialing it up
That's
for
why.
him, but that still doesn't excuse the frustration, man.
Right.
It's easy for you. You're a Hall of Famer, 3-time Super Bowl champion, 10,000, 11,000 yard club. You got all that stuff. It's easy for you to say that you ain't on the field right now. When you was on the field and wasn't going right, you went to axe. That's his axe.
Right. No, I know they have a great relationship.
That's his axe.
They have a great relationship, and I'm not saying that. But I'm saying I love the way they handled that. He respected him enough to not get in his face and leave him focused on the game. He respected him enough to not Keyshawn that
open ear side, so he can hear everything.
Right.
If you notice, that's where you go.
No respect.
Right.
Hey, man.
Yeah,
hey,
that
man.
was.
I mean, they're also
that Key had that wasn't from that game. That was brought from before. Not before, from before.
Yeah,
whatever they had before going on, that just spilled out in that game. Right. So that wasn't frustration.
Y'all got these folks.
That was from before.
Y'all gonna have these folks thinking I'm halfway crazy, man.
I ain't know they
we didn't do that was the tape. That's in 4K.
The eye in the sky don't lie.
Yeah. Right, that's what we say.
Hey, man,
that's bad tape you put out there.
I can't help it, Paul. I'll play with passion, man. I don't apologize to nobody.
My bishop always told me, if it's one time, check yourself. But if it's this time and this time, if this time, Yeah, it's something going
That was
on.
multiple coaches.
Right,
too. Did
right,
y'all
right.
notice that?
Multiple
Yeah.
coaches.
Multiple
It was different
coaches.
jerseys.
And what's the common denominator with all them coaches?
Let's go to all the
Yeah,
coaches.
one person.
Exactly.
One
I'm
person.
sure we got
one
more on other
person.
coaches too.
Oh, that's
Let's
right.
see if we can
More
find that,
Keyshawn
y'all.
screaming
So
kids.
you know.
Let's see if we can find versus all these coaches.
Subscribe here to get the latest from Speak, and go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.